Sir, actually, the Breaking India forces are a threat to Indian renaissance.
Right.
Uh, as far as the problem with this part of the country is concerned, after the demise of CM, I mean, Madam
Right.
Jayalalitha,
Right.
the voice of the Breaking India forces are
Stronger.
never been this louder.
Correct.
After the arrest of May 17 movement organizer, Mr. Tirumurugan Gandhi,
Right.
after he has been arrested on the charges of Gundas Act, if I am right, and after those act has been removed from charges have been removed by
Right.
the High Court, then he was released. And after that, as soon as he comes out of the jail, in the gates of the jail, he is giving a statement that the Indian country is waging a war against Tamilians.
Tamils. Correct.
Okay. So he's boldly giving as soon as he has been released from the jail.
Correct.
So, do you think there is a need for much more stricter sedition laws? Because I read your article on sedition laws
Right.
during the JNU issue.
Right.
Do you think we are not, the sedition laws are not sufficient to address this issue?
See, law can only complement social efforts. It cannot succeed in isolation. So even if you were to come out with a stronger sedition law or implement or enforce the existing sedition law in a stricter fashion, it would make very less difference for the simple reason that I read a banner, and that banner was sent to me, which says, Hindus, get out of Tamil Nadu. This is the land of Tamils, not Hindus. So today we are now creating an identity saying that Tamils have never been Hindus. That Sangamira was only about Buddhism, Jainism, and had got nothing to do with Hinduism at all. Hindu festival. So the thing is, every festival has only become a commercial activity, but its religious basis is being slowly secularized, which means it's being de-Hinduized. That's happening. Right. And see, all of this happens for the simple reason that the gatekeepers of academia are people who come from a certain ideology. Imagine you're a student who's pursuing your PhD, and there are so many people here. The acceptance of your thesis is dependent on there being a resonance between your wavelength and your guide's wavelength. And if the wavelength, or let's say the guide happens to be someone who's particularly rigid about his ideological standpoints, and your area of research is something that relates to that ideological standpoint, your career is in his hands. You think all of these people truly believe what they write? They don't. Some of them do it because it's a question of survival. And then they realize that if I don't subscribe to this point of view, I will be kicked out of this ecosystem. I will never be made a part of this ecosystem. I can never aspire for greener pastures. I will never get a recommendation for a Fulbright scholarship or a Rhodes scholarship abroad as far as my future is concerned. So I might as well do this. The problem lies there, which is why, again, it goes back to an intellectual renaissance. Two, the absence of a strong voice today in the public forum which can silence these anti-India voices, anti-Indic voices, has now allowed people who call themselves foster children of rationalists to enter the fray and make even more nasty statements. So the only way for this, or I think the only way forward, is for you to start talking about the Hindu side of the Tamil culture as well. Unfortunately, that side is completely lost. We may be happy going to temples and festivals, but the fact that somebody is assailing those traditions in a public platform on a regular basis still doesn't inspire a response from the community. We will all respond to attacks on our caste, but we will never respond to attacks on your faith. That is the reality. If somebody hurts me personally or affects my caste identity, I will go after that person. There will be a riot for that. But when somebody openly slanders against your faith, you will conveniently remain silent and you'll dissociate yourself from that particular position because you'll say, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. Therefore, that sense of apathy as far as your Hindu identity is concerned or your Indic identity is concerned is partly responsible. And here, perhaps you'll have to blame the previous generation for not instilling those values in you, or to tell you that this identity matters, it's important, be proud of it. You need not hate somebody else. You need not grow up with hatred of any other community. But surely there's nothing wrong in you growing up being proud of your community. And not just about your caste identity, but something that goes beyond that. So a sedition law, if you implement it, any government that does that will be branded a fascist government, will be branded an anti-democratic government, because in this country, democracy is equal to anarchy. The freedom to say anything is equated as democracy, and the right to free speech. So which government would want to do that? You will immediately become unpopular. Media houses will come after you. Pechurime will become the talk of the town. So as far as I am concerned, sedition law alone is not going to help. You will need to find a societal response to each of these issues. Only then law will have some sanctity, because the society is saying, I will not accept this behavior anymore, and I am more than happy to penalize it. I'll go to one more unpopular incident. What happened on the eve of Avaniyatam? Why was it treated as an incident that applies to only one particular caste? Does only one caste wear the Yajñapamit? Vishwakarmas don't wear it. Balija Naidus don't wear it. Kamavari Naidus don't wear it. So many castes in this state who are non-Brahmin castes wear that particular sacred thread. But nobody responded to it. Not one person responded to it. And mind you, each of these voices is being funded and encouraged by somebody else who's not necessarily from the Indic background. Kindly read up the history of the rationalist movement and the self-respect movement, and you will see some of the biggest proponents of that movement have been non-Hindus. Because it is in their benefit, it's in their interest. At least some of them, not all of them. I don't believe that everybody subscribed to that point of view, but some institutions certainly do.